Hey guys, Average Joe here, and I'm back with a quick video for anyone who has encountered a stripped screw head in their crossbar assembly. Some of these older sets, this is a 552 Series 1, but I've also seen it on 552 Series 2. I've seen it happen with Phillips, and I've seen it happen with Allen. Allen is a lot less common. They don't strip as frequently as Phillips. It's probably why Bowflex had eventually gone to Allen screws for everything. But a lot of the knockoffs still use Phillips. And these strip pretty easily, even though there's not a lot of pressure on these. They shouldn't be in there super tight, but it's still easy to strip these screws. What happens when you strip a screw? Now, fortunately, the solution is pretty easy. You can grab either, 1/8 or maybe a 16th inch bit, put it into your drill. Then take your crossbar assembly, carefully take your plate off. There will be ball bearings and springs here and a washer here. Remove those. I recommend putting maybe a towel down or some cloth to catch anything, because if your ball bearings and springs fall, they're going to bounce all over and you may lose them. So you take those out, and you're left with just this part of the crossbar assembly. Now, what you can see here, this, by the way, is one of my aftermarket. This is my locking pin. Normally, this would be black or it'd be white plastic. But what you can see here on this particular version is that there are two cavities with nuts in them. These screws go through into the nuts that are inside there. On some newer versions of the dumbbells, there is no nut. It's a built-in boss. It's actually molded in to the crossbar assembly piece here. This technique will not work on those. It will only work on these, and I'll talk about the other ones in a moment. You have to take a different approach to that. So, what do? Whichever screw head is stripped, you grab your drill, put it into the center, just like you're drilling out, a screw normally, and you're going to drill into this screw. Now, the screw is not very, butterfingers. So the screw is not very thick. All you're looking to do is drill this about that far in to the head of the screw. And the reason is, once you do that, it's going to separate the head of the screw from the body. This is going to fall off. Once it does, the screw and the nut will fall out of the back side of this. You can actually tip it, tap it into your hand. It might fall out. If it doesn't fall out automatically, then take your drill and push into the hole like this. Push into the hole, and that will push the remainder of the screw and the nut out the back side of this. Then take that nut and one of your good screws, go to a hardware store, usually a local mom and pop hardware store, and see if they can match that screw. It doesn't make a difference what kind of head it has. I wouldn't buy a Phillips head. I don't like them. They strip too easily. But whatever they have, you're just trying to get the same pitch and the same length. So that's it. That's how you would get your screw out of the assembly. Now, if you have the style that has a boss here and no nut, that's a little bit different. You're going to want to, at that point, either use a thin bit and go all the way through, and then you'll have to tap it to rethread if you damage any of the threads inside the boss, or you can try an extractor. And I can tell you right now that I've tried 2 different extractors that are supposed to be excellent. They suck. Neither one of them worked. All they ended up doing was spinning inside the screw and then eventually severing the head anyway. So if you have the style with the 2 bosses, it gets a little bit more complicated. But I find that usually those are on the Allen screw versions of the 552 Series 2. Again, you know, these dumbbells, every single one of them, you never know what you're going to get. Yours could be a little bit different, but the basically what I want you to know is, you know, if it's stripped, drill out that screw head, push the body of the screw out the back, and get yourself a new screw. And that's it. You're not going to damage anything because this is not a threaded hole. This is just a smooth bore all the way through. And that nut is loose. Normally that nut would just fall out into my hand. But right now it's jammed in there, which is why I said that some of you may have to push through to get the nut and the screw body to fall out the backside. So that's it, guys. That's how you address a stripped screw head in a crossbar assembly of your SelectTech dumbbells. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.